Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwara, Para Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Chinmayam Vyapyat Sarvam Trilokyam Sacharacharam Tatpadam Darshitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Tvameva Mata cha Pita Tvameva Tvameva Bandhuscha Sakha Tvameva Tvameva Vedya Dravidam Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Jai Guru. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So we're making our way through the fourth chapter. And the first major topic that we've been discussing is what I call spiritual anthropology. What is a human being? And most importantly, what part of us is the self? So virtually every religion says God is omnipresent. God is everywhere present. God is the same yesterday, today, and forever. Well, is your rear end in the creation? Uh-huh. That means God pervades you. So there's an aspect of you that is the same yesterday, today, forever. But it's not my body. It's not my emotions. It's not my opinions and thoughts and beliefs. It's not this idea of self that I have. Scriptures say it's closer than hand or foot. It's closer than your breath. It's closer than your innermost thoughts. It's your very experience of I. Now, let's review a bit of what we talked about last couple of weeks. So, I like to use the water glass as a metaphor. The physical body is like the glass. The liquid in the glass, it's water today, is like what we call the subtle body or the transmigrating soul. It is that which moves from lifetime to lifetime to lifetime. But you, the self, is like the space. Is the glass in space, or is there space in the glass? If I move the glass, have I moved space? So I want to go a little more deeply into the subtle body, this transmigrating soul. Because Krishna said, I remember all my past lifetimes. I remember yours. So what is it that has past lives? So our physical body, I call it the meat lump. Skin, flesh, bone, blood, guts, and as Shankara likes to say, filled with feces and urine. It's really quite disgusting if you don't wash it every day. But what is this subtle body? First of all, you run around in a dream in your subtle body. If you ever do any of these Siddha yoga practices and you learn how to teleport or astrally project or see things at a distance, what is it that goes these places? It's the subtle body. So let's go into what comprises it, because it's important for the one function. So first of all, we have the 10 sense organs. Yoga, we have 10 sense organs. We have karmendriyas and jnanendriyas or buddhendriyas, called either one. Karmendriyas are the organs of action. Hands, feet, tongue, anus, and genitals. Energy out. Then we have the jnanendriyas or buddhendriyas. Information in. Eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and skin. Energy out. Information in. Well, that's in my physical body, Jim. Why do we put those in the subtle body? Who has the answer? None of you. Can you see in a dream? Mm-hmm. But your eyes are shut in bed. What are you seeing with? Anybody walked around in a dream? What did you walk around with? Your legs were under the covers in bed. So the subtle body has the same sense organs as the physical body. And likewise, we put the 5 pranas. You have energy, you have motion, you have thinking, etc., speech, in the subtle body. And you have manas, you have the mind, you have feeling, you have judgment, you have reactions. Don't you have those in a dream state? Yes? Yeah. You have buddhi, intellect. You can think in a dream. We have what we call chitta. Chitta is the stuff of mind. And in this context, it can mean memory. It also includes what I call the flashlight quality. So for a moment, put your attention on the sounds of the traffic. Now put your attention on the lamp. So you can shift your attention, that capacity to shift attention. It even has like memory. Remember what you had for dinner last night. All that is part of the elements of what we call chitta. Now, this is the most important part. In the subtlest part of the intellect, the buddhi, there is a function. Shankara calls it karta. Who knows what karta means? Michael, you know this one.
Doer.
Doer. It's the sense of agency. Listen carefully, it is not bad. One couldn't function in the world without it. I made lunch today. You did something else. Michael, did you walk around the lake?
Yeah.
I took a nap. What is that I that does this or that is distinct from one person to another? It goes by many names. It goes by karta, that's what Shankara calls it, the agent or the doer. Sometimes it's called ahankara, the ego sense. Listen carefully. That karta is not evil. It's not bad. You don't need to beat it up with a psychic baseball bat. All you need to know is it's not you. And I can prove it to you. Who slept soundly last night? Were you there to experience it as an ego? And then you woke up in the morning and lights on, and there you were. Oh, I feel so rested. What I was it that felt so rested? The ego was gone, and then it returned. It comes and goes. It thickens and thins. They say, at least in the West, the most common fear is public performance. Any of you have to do a presentation at work or at school, and you feel anxious or self-conscious when you have to do that? Or we can do something like this. Okay. Everybody look at Deepa. Let's see if she's got lunch on her blouse. Or does she have spinach in her teeth? You know, it's sure. Any blemishes on her skin? How does this make you feel?
Self-conscious.
Yes. Yes. Were you feeling self-conscious 5 minutes ago? Did you see it thicken?
Yeah, for sure.
You were aware of it. How can it be you if you're aware of it? You watch it thicken and thin. You watch it go away in deep sleep. You watch it come and go and rise and fall. One day, I'm really doing well. Next day, oh. Do you not know its differences? So the thing to understand about this karta, this agent, is it's a function in the buddhi. It is part of the subtle body. Because you have that same sense of agency in a dream. And what does that ego sense tend to do? Where it gets itself in trouble is it thinks it's the self. and it attributes to the self the qualities of the non-self. It's a kind of thinking. Those of us who've been studying Mandukya Upanishad on Saturday mornings, Gaudapada uses my favorite expression, Jiva Bhavana. What does Bhavana mean? Feeling. A feeling or an attitude. So Jiva Bhavana is the feeling that I'm a person. It's based in ignorance. Now, this transmigrating soul, this subtle body, depends on which scripture you're reading, but for now we'll include that it also has the vasanas, which are the deep impressions. We collect them during a lifetime, and they are what impel us into the next lifetime. But you are something other than all of this. You are Sakshi, with see, being upset is just like the motorcycles going by. But you heard the motorcycles, just like you know the upset moment. It's not you. What are you? Chidakasha, the space of pure awareness. Now, the scriptures say it is birthless, changeless, deathless, without a form, without qualities, nityam, eternal. What you and I have to do is thin the mind. Tanu manasa, thin the mind. Or the term that Michael has been using, chitta shuddhi, purity of mind. Purity of mind doesn't mean having goody-goody thoughts. It means having fewer thoughts, less noisy thoughts. Finally, when we get to the point where there's space between the thoughts, where we can begin to see a thought rise out of silence, it exists and then it goes back into silence. With this attentive faculty, turn within. Notice a real we do this over and over and over again till we are convinced I'm not the physical body and I'm not the subtle body. I'm the space of pure awareness. So when Krishna talks about himself in this fourth chapter, he's talking about the self, meaning yourself. Any thoughts on this? Michael, may I ask a favor? Go into the bedroom and close the window, please. lessen our noise. Okay, what verse are we on, Mark?
We're on 14.
Okay, Deepa, will you help us out?
Namam karmani hinfanti, name karma phale spriha, iti mam yobhijanati, karma bhirna sabhatyate. Actions do not taint me, nor have I any desire for the fruits of actions. He who knows me thus is not bound by his actions.
Yes. So, if there's a crack in the glass, does it affect the space? Rather than water, if I put a tea bag in there and it's hot water, does it affect the space? If the water glass is full or the water glass is empty, does it affect the space? So the dharma of the body is karma. What's dharma mean? The nature of something, the essence of something, without which it would not be the thing that it is. It's the dharma of water to be wet, it's the dharma of fire to burn, it's the dharma of sugar to be sweet. The dharma of the body is that it acts and it accrues reactions. If you eat too many sweets and carbs, you get fat. If you go on a fast, you get thin. If you punch a policeman, you go to jail. The body, the dharma of the body is karma. The dharma of the mind is that it is a pleasure seeker, pain avoider mechanism. In actuality, from the moment you wake up in the morning to the moment your head hits the pillow at night, the only thing your mind does is seek the good by your highest understanding of the good and avoid misery. It's all we ever do. The only real doubt is where the heck is the good? What about when I do altruistic actions and suffer for others? I do that because I think it's good. That's its dharma. Listen carefully. In the end, we find out self is good. But the self is never touched by karma. The self is never touched by the various feelings of the mind and the thoughts of the intellect. The self is not even touched by the egocentricity of this function of the intellect. Nothing touches me. Now again, this may be comforting when we read it in the book. That's what we call paroksha jnana, indirect knowledge. So what do we need to do throughout the day? We get upset. See if you can stop and say, to whom did this upset occur? To me. Koham, who am I? See if you can stop for a moment and check out yourself. See if all of a sudden, deep inside, you've got blood dripping down yourself. No, there's nothing there. Yeah, but I'm feeling all these emotions. But I am the knower of the emotions. The mind is feeling them. I am the witness of them. Don't believe me. Look. Until we're convinced by our own direct experience that the self in me is never touched. This is aparoksha jnana, direct experience. Direct experience. Now, if you're a yogi and you've been practicing your viveka and vairagya, your mind will be more peaceful. Your mind will be less reactive. Your mind will be less attached to the fruits of action. Listen very carefully. Can a finite thing ever be made infinite? Can it? So I have some news for you. Your body, mind, intellect is a finite thing. And like all finite things, it is constantly changing. So the freedom is not about becoming a goody-goody. Yes, we want to purify the equipment, most specifically purify the mind, so that I can realize myself. To attain this tanu manasaha, this thinness of mind. But the import of the verse, it's not that the mind no longer changes or does this, that, or the other thing. It gets purer. But only the self is vishuddha, completely pure. The way to heal the mind is to get out of the mind. In the beginning, we do thought replacement, we work on turning the volume level down on our reactivity. But once we can get a sense of what we call sakshi bhava, the attitude of feeling that I'm the witness, keep working on having the shift in identification. Very careful of understanding. Any thoughts on this? To try to have the completely pure mind and equipment is like trying to count to the highest number. You're really up there. there's no end. But yourself is like zero. Nirupam, without any qualities. No attachment. There's nothing there. So yoga invites us to have this shift in our identification. This is a subtle but incredibly important point. It's a paradox. Well, does that mean I shouldn't bother to practice renunciation and discrimination? No, I did not say that. We need to practice discrimination and renunciation in order to purify the mind enough to begin to see who I am. It's a paradox. Years back in the dining room, I used to have lace curtains instead of the shears. So they gave me privacy. People looking up from the patio could not see into the dining room. But I could see through the lace curtains into the patio and the street beyond. That's like the thinned mind. Now, in samadhi, the mind is gone. But that's just a mind state. It isn't permanent. This is incomprehensible. Just put it on the shelf and we'll go on. Next verse.
Evam gyatva kritam karma पूर्वैरपि मुमुक्षुभिः कुरु कर्मैव तस्मात् त्वं पूर्वे पूर्वोत्तरं कृतम्. Having known this, the ancient seekers after freedom also performed action. Therefore, you too perform action, as did the ancients in the olden times.
So, we do not gain freedom by running away from the world. Oh, the world upsets me, therefore I'm going to run away from it. That's not freedom. No one gains freedom by avoiding triggers. That's what the youngsters keep talking about. Oh, I can't go there. That triggers me. Triggers my trauma. There's no freedom in that. Yogi needs to be able to be anywhere, go anywhere, be doing anything. Because she sees through to the reality of everything. I'm going to give you my spiritual axiom, which is incredibly useful. It is a spiritual axiom that if I am disturbed, no matter the cause, I'm the one with the klesha, the affliction, the defilement. I'm the one with the attachment. I'm the one with the control issue. I'm the one with the expectation. I'm the one with the identification. I'm the one with the craving or the aversion. Well, does that mean I got to put up with dishonest people and are you saying they're right and I'm wrong? No, the world and its people are oftentimes quite wrong. So back to what Hugh and I were talking about before class. Comes to find out this company, they lack integrity. Done, isn't it? Isn't that seeming to be the truth?
That seems to be the case.
The world and its people are oftentimes quite wrong. But you don't have to get upset because of it. That's the point of yoga. Well, does that mean I run away from the situation? No! Krishna says, act. We do our best and give to God the rest. We can do. So remember, we talked about the 5 elements of karma yoga. Act, O Arjuna. We all have to act. Even maintenance of the body is not possible without action. How? Every person is impelled helplessly into action by the force of Prakriti, their nature. What can restraint do? Ride the horse in the direction it's going, according to your swadharma, apparent late proclivities. But redeem them. Do it in a spirit of selfless service. Don't do it from greed or raw ambition or revenge. Out of being hurt. And renounce our attachment to the fruits of action. And our renunciation of the sense of agency, this karta that we talked about in the subtle intellect, is nothing more than the qualities of mind and the force of the past. There's no real entity, no person there. If we act with those 5 elements, we exhaust vasana without creating new ones. Part of the science of vasana purgation. Shankara says it's the annihilation of the vasanas, here and now, that's considered liberation by the wise. This is a major practice for doing. Any thoughts on this? It's so incredibly important. What should I do? Do your duty. Do what's in front of you. Do the next right action. Most of us have worldly responsibilities. We have to pay the rent or pay the mortgage. Well, should I sell everything and just be a sannyasi? You can do that, but you will still have to act.
Hey, Jim, and just a question for you, Joanna here.
Hi, Joanna here.
Hi, everyone. Sometimes at the end of your phrase, it cuts out a little because your voice is a little softer at the end. And so you said annihilation of the something, but I didn't catch
Yes, it's the annihilation of the vasanas here and now, which is considered liberation by the wise.
Okay.
What is a vasana? A vasana is a subset of sanskara. Sanskara is an impression. So can you see that that's a table? Yeah. The way you can know that's a table is that's an impression. Sanskaras in and of themselves do not cause us to suffer. Knowing that's a table is not problematic. But a subset of sanskaras is when we get involved with I-ness and minus. It's my table. Don't wreck it. Or, oh, my car got broken into. Or my success in the world, or my failure in the world, or I got what I want, or I didn't get what I want. That's a subset, a special kind of impression. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
Those are the vasanas. The vasanas have two powers. The first we call avarana shakti or avritti, veiling power. The terrible power of a vasana is it robs me of self-experience. I do not know that I am Brahman. The second power of a vasana, vikshepa shakti, projecting or agitating power. I think I'm a person, and then I have a goal. I'll be happy when, it'll be better if, more better different. And I have kartavya, I have obligatory action. I need to struggle toward that goal. And that seems so real. And that vikshepa shakti, that projection of I think I'm a person, I have a goal, and I need to make efforts in order to be happy, has as its cause spiritual ignorance. The spiritual ignorance is an element of my vasana. Did that make sense?
Yeah, it sounds like attachment.
Attachment is the result of the vasana. But that's how you get rid of the vasanas. We let go of attachment to worldly objects, and we let go of identification with any idea of self. That's the process.
Thank you.
And I apologize that my voice drops. You're not the first person to tell me that. I'll try to be more diligent.
It's okay. In person, it's different. You know, I try, but it's
So
really
come in person. I love it when you're here.
I'll be there. Don't worry.
Okay.
Got a bit of a cold, so I didn't want to get anybody
That's
sick.
all right.
All right.
I have a contagious case of health. I keep spreading it around the best I can. All right, so where were we? So are we understanding what he's saying here? That we got to clearly understand this distinction between the equipment and the self. The equipment is what we call jada. Jada means inert. So your thoughts are not sentient. One thought doesn't know another thought. Your feeling doesn't know your toe. You are awareness itself. You are aware of the body and it's all its stuff. You are aware of your feelings. You are aware of your thoughts. And you are aware of the ego sense. You can't be aware of yourself as an object. You're not going to be in meditation. Oh, there goes the self. I saw the self. So these people who do ayahuasca or ecstasy and stuff like that. Oh, Jim, I did ayahuasca and I had an experience of the self. No, you had a wackadoodle mind state. They're fun. But once you understand it's myself, when are you ever not you? You are a constant, eternal being. My problem is in my mind. I just don't pay attention to it. I get all caught up in the nonsense. All right, next verse. Are we doing on time? Okay.
Kim karma kimakarmeti kavayopyatra mohitaha tate karma pravakshami yajgyatva mokshase shubhat.
This is a great one.
What is action? What is inaction? As to this, even the wise are deluded. Therefore, I shall teach you action, the nature of action and inaction, knowing which you shall be liberated from the evil of samsara, or the wheel of birth and death.
Yes. So here, what is it that acts? And what is it that is actionless? Sitting still in meditation is an action. Giving up all your activities and staying in a studio apartment in the Tenderloin is an action. So many people, not so much today, but it was certainly a big deal in the 60s. People thought, I'm going to drop out, leave the world, because that's spiritual. What Krishna is going to say here is that is not the path to freedom. What does karma mean? Action. The dharma of the body is karma. Your body always is acting. Your hair is growing. Your cells are dividing. Your heart is beating. Go ahead, sit still as long as you want. Eventually, you got to go to the bathroom. There is no escaping action. But then what is actionless? Now we will find that out. What is actionless in the midst of action? Understanding this, you will find freedom. It's pretty clear. The self is achalam. Chal chalati means to move. You've been to India and you've been to Ramana Maharshi's ashram. It's on a hill. What's the name of the hill? Aruna means the pre-dawn light, the glowing. Achala, pre-dawn light that never moves. That's what the hill's name means. It is Achala. You are a light that never moves. Next verse.
I have a quick question.
Yes.
Aruna is the pre-dawn light that never leaves? Is that what you
No,
said?
Aruna just means pre-dawn light. Sunrise. Pre-sunrise.
Mhm.
I think that's what dawn actually means. Isn't dawn the light that comes before sunrise?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
and then,
it means dawn.
okay, yeah, I thought you then qualified it a little bit.
Achalam means doesn't move.
Oh,
Aruna Achalam. Arunachalam. Aruna Achalam.
yeah,
The dawn light that doesn't move.
okay.
Does that make sense?
Well, I'll have to absorb it. But
Okay.
yeah, your
But
voice
that's literally what it means.
dropped. Your voice dropped a little bit. That's why it was hard to catch.
Okay. Come in person. Next verse.
Karmano yapi bodhavyam cha vikarmana akarmanascha bodhavyam gahana karmano gati. For verily, the true nature of right action should be known, also that of forbidden or unlawful action, and of inaction. Imponderable is the nature/path of action.
So, not only do we need to be able to make the distinction of what is it that is always acting, the equipment, the bodies, which means your body, your mind, your intellect, and what never acts, the self. Oh. But in the realm of action, what are actions that are auspicious and beneficent? And what are actions that get us into trouble? Let me tell you a true story. So I'm working with a young man, and he, for about 15 years, had a problem with alcohol. And he's a devotee of Meher Baba, the great 20th century saint. Oh, Baba this, Baba that, Baba this, Baba that. But while he was drinking, he was a bit of a crook, to be honest. You know, like he stole from his daughter. You know, he'd go to a hotel in Nepal and then split and not pay the bill. Had sticky fingers. Well, they're corporations, you know. That's okay if you rip off a corporation. And then a couple of weeks ago, he's coming outside his sister's house and his scooter was stolen. Oh, F word, you know. I'm a victim. You know. I said, no. If you live a life as a crook, them's that steals get stolen from. We're never a victim. So if you want to know how to know whether actions are proscribed or prohibited, I'll give you the clearest way to understand it. Karma means action. The law of karma is the quality of action at the physical level, but sometimes also at the mental level. Goes out into the universe and in time comes back in kind. We never get away with anything. If you get this, why shouldn't I lie? Isn't it okay to fib, to tell white lies, and stuff like that? You can do whatever you want. But what happens if you lie? What will be the inevitable result? Think. What's going to happen?
You lied to.
Yeah. It's so simple. It's so simple. You can redo this to what we call ahimsa. What's ahimsa mean? Non-injury, non-harming. All moral activity can be reduced to ahimsa. Don't be an asshole. It's so simple. Be satyam, be a person of integrity. Simple things. Who here gets upset if you make a date with someone to have coffee and they're 20 minutes or half an hour late? Who gets upset at that? Have you ever blown off an appointment? Goes around, comes around. Now, sometimes it's the karma of prior lives that comes back. But we're never a victim. We do not get what we want in life. Listen carefully. We don't even really get what we need. At a cosmic level, you can say that. What we get is the inevitable results of the force of the past. Once we internalize this, then we have the maturity to practice titiksha. What's titiksha mean?
Forbearance.
Forbearance. It doesn't mean, oh, I'm suffering. You can do all this nasty stuff to me and I'll just bear it. No, it doesn't mean that. It's a deep understanding of karma. I'm never, ever a victim. I may not be conscious of what I did in the past. There's no God out there punishing me. So I have a point of power. The point of power is my reaction or response to the events of the world. Do I react with redress or revenge? All that does is keep these karmic cycles going. Or do I choose to return good for evil? So for those of us who may have been raised in the Christian tradition, Jesus expressed this with very clear worldly examples. If someone hits you across the face, what does he tell you to do?
Turn the other cheek.
Turn the other cheek. If the Roman soldier who had the right said, carry my pack for a mile, what did Jesus say to do? Carry it for another mile. If someone steals your coat, give him your cloak. He says, I say to you, love your enemies. Even the Gentiles love their friends. I say, love your enemies. Something as simple, if there's somebody in your life that irritates you or upsets you, try praying for them every day for 30 days. Very powerful practice. Return good for evil. all of the various things. If you want something that's more specific, there are a bunch of different lists. One of my favorites is the yamas and niyamas from Raja Yoga. You can look those up on your own. But they really all boil down to ahimsa, non-envy. Don't be a jerk. Be a person of integrity. All right,
Can I ask a question?
please.
What advice do you have for us who end up committing ahimsa because we are, generally, like if you're in a bad mood, for example, you end up doing something that you don't mean to do, you end up hurting someone or being diminishing, disempowering in some way. What advice do you have for an inadvertent ahimsa?
All right. There's a difference between doing someone to hurt someone, and that hurts someone. Many times when we hurt people, it's because of inadvertence or being unconscious. But sometimes we are reactive and we hurt them. We cannot change the past, but we can clean it up. So if there's someone you love, isn't it amazing? So frequently the people we hurt the most are the ones we love the closest to. Who's had that experience? So you've got to learn to say, what I did was hurtful. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. I was upset and reacted. Now, an amend may include an apology. An amend means to change it, to make it right, like you amend the Constitution. You change your behavior. But like, for example, let's say you have a habit of being chronically late. It's fascinating. I have a friend who's chronically late. They almost always say, oh, I'm sorry I'm late. You ever had that experience? Yeah. Sorry, doesn't cut it. The amend means change the behavior, which is not always easy. But we can clean up the past. Can't change it. And sometimes when we go to a person where we've said or done something that's hurtful, and it's usually because we've been hurt in some way, sometimes they don't accept it. And we just got to live with it and still return good for evil. Is that useful?
Mm-hmm.
I have people say, oh, I'm not talking to so-and-so. Usually it's a family member. Stupidest thing in the world. That doesn't solve anything. Doesn't solve anything. We're coming up to Passover this Saturday, I think it is. Again, one of the things the Master Jesus said, you don't go to the temple and may do your sacrifice without making peace with your neighbor first. Reconcile with people. It's good practice. It's a good practice. What I like to suggest, what I try to do, is there anybody in my life that I were walking down the sidewalk and they were coming the other way, would I be perfectly okay? If there's somebody in my life where I better cross to the other side of the street, or I'm going to turn around and go the other way, I want to avoid, then I have work to do. Work to do. Is that helpful?
Yes.
It's not easy. Why? Because it's humiliating. What gets humiliated? Does the selves get humiliated? It's always just the ego. The path to freedom is paved with humiliation. I promise you this. And embarrassment. I know. All right, one more.
Karmanya karmaya pasye karmani cha karmaya sabuddhimana manusyeshu sayukta krishna karma krit. He who recognizes an action in action and action in inaction is wise among men. He is a yogi and a true performer of all action.
So the yogi understands that the body always acts. It's not bad. There's intelligent ways to act, there's unintelligent ways to act. And the self is kutastha. Kuta is like an anvil or a mountain. Sta tishtati means to stand or be established. Your self is immovable like a mountain. Kutastha. I was at a camp once with Swamiji. Many of you have heard me share this. And one of the people was there and saying, Swamiji, when are you coming to Allahabad? Swamiji says, I go nowhere. Allahabad passes in front of me. Oh, Swamiji's going to sit there for the rest of eternity? No, doesn't mean that. You are immovable. You never move. You are Achalam. Never act. All you do is aware. Aware the earth. So again, it's the practice of this shift. Sense of identity. All right, quit here. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Sri Guru Pyo Namaha. Hari